Hi folks, today is 15th Saturday, February 2025 if I'm correct. I might have got the dates wrong. Don't know when I'll get a chance to upload this, but I'll do my best as quickly as I can. So I think I'll do this in several sections. I've had to change batteries. This is my second attempt because I should have been changed the batteries, but I was a bit thick as usual and the power died. So I'll have a chat and I'll see how things go. Now, the only reason I'm doing this is because I put out a video a few hours ago, or I don't know how long ago it is after you start listening to this, but where I was just pointing out how some people on the left, or pretend to be on the left, have turned fascist and behave appallingly, go around being abusive and, unpleasant, and how this guy who I had no, I was just filming independently as a journalist, or, well, not as a journalist, just as a YouTuber, whatever you wish to call me. Just stood there filming, he comes up and starts giving this sort of weird threat and how his floppy friends are coming over, or whatever he calls it, I don't know, they're sort of weird bunch. Weird, unpleasant bunch. But on it, I mentioned, and because somebody, I was chatting on a few social medias because a few people try to stick up for them until they watch the videos of the poor behaviour, saying, oh, they're anti-fascist, and I don't know why you call him fascist. And I pointed out, and they started to agree with me on that. And one of them said, but surely, why are you taking sides or something? And I said, I haven't taken sides at all. Go through the video and see if I've taken sides. I started off on one side. Oh, so I'm getting pulled over by the dogs. Got hassled and went to the other. All the people on the first side were welcome to come up and have a discussion, put forward their own views. And I've always said it, everyone is. Just my only request is don't swear and don't slander people. That's it. And possibly the third one is, if you've got some facts, if you state something, try and back it up with evidence. But anyway, so the point I was making was, oh, someone's down there, that I wasn't taking sides, and one of the, just to show, I was saying that I criticised Posey Park and everyone. Now, at this point, I've had a few replies. One of them sounds like, oh, you can't have a comment because... and I've had a few. I won't post them in the video. I'll just post a couple. And I'm not having a go at anyone, by the way, of this. But I think some were, oh, you can't have a view because you're male. Well, you can get knotted if you ever come across that. Because, everyone should have the right to have comments or opinions. It doesn't matter if they're male, female, gay, straight, white, black, green, purple, blue. I don't care. You have the right to have an opinion. No one has the right to say, just because the opinion you've said they don't agree with, or it's an alternative. They can discuss and debate with you, but they don't have the right to tell you don't have the right to an opinion or try to silence you or anything. That's just fascism. And the fact that, recently we seem to have accepted this fascism is appalling. Absolutely appalling. And yet often the people who go along with this fascist ideology are the ones who will claim to be anti-fascist and left-wing. Sorry, doesn't work like that. But anyway, so the second point of this is I do realise in this modern world how it's a bit like GB News. You're supposed to say everything people agree with. And, when you don't, such as GB News, everyone goes, oh, close them down, they're not on our side, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm sorry, I'll be saying things that you may not agree with. Now, I'm going to point something else out. A lot of YouTubers, I really fully grasp that they will say things they don't believe with, but they know their audience does. So what they do is they say exactly what the audience want to hear. Well, they might not agree with it because they know they're going to get people saying, oh, yes, I agree. And it'll get them huge amounts of views and they'll make a lot of money. I don't do that. That's why I only get, I've only got 10,000 followers, and I probably get maybe 100 views or whatever. But I don't actually mind that. Wow, someone's coming. 1 second, folkies. Hang on. Sorry. Hey, sorry. They're all friendly. Cheers. Back we are. It's we're in the woods, by the way. I'm walking the dogs. Oh, by the way, I hope this sounds a bit better than it used to be, because I've turned on this anti-clipping thing, which means the sound shouldn't clip. The trouble is, I'm not sure the sound will be as clear, and you get the nice sounds of, well, there's no birds at the moment, but if there was birds song, I don't know if it'd pick it up. But anyway, we'll worry about that once it starts getting warm and the birds are singing. So, so as I say, we get, I know that fully, and I do warn people. I'm not going to sit here and say things just because I think you want me to say it, because that'll get me a lot more views, but it's dishonest on me. I say my views, my opinions, and some people class me as left wing, some people are right wing, all sorts. I mean, I had somebody, I think I defended that girl who was abroad and wants to come in, and people said, "Oh, I'm unsubscribing because you haven't said my views." Well, that's fine. I'm here to put forward my thoughts and opinions, which may change over time, and there may be alternative to yours, but that's a lie. I'd rather do that. That's me being honest. Again, I can say, I could be quite easy. I mean, I'd be honest. I could either take very easily, I could virtually be as left wing or as right wing as I wanted to be. I could do both sides. I could take one and just do it. I could do it, and I won't believe any of the stuff or most of the stuff I come out with. But I know it'd make a lot of money, one way or the other, and I'm 100% sure a lot of YouTubers do that. So when we hear people or independent media, I'd question if they are. I don't think a lot are, because they get in money, and they also, a lot are. You'll see this, promoting products and things. So it takes away how independent they are. On that basis, I try and when I'm doing this, I tell you if I'm being independent or not. And if you, hang on, someone's coming. Hi.
Hi. There's otters in here, but I never saw one yet.
Sorry, say again, sir.
There are otters in here.
Otters?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised there might be.
No, there definitely is. I just never yet seen one. I've seen a dead one.
Oh, did you? Well, they might have released them, because I think they're releasing them all over the country. So, these might be ideal for otters.
No, there's definitely otters there, because I once saw when I was crossing the road, there was one hit by a car on the road.
Oh.
Unfortunately, so. But I think they're probably living here somewhere. But
yeah, but maybe we'll see them when they start breeding. It'll be interesting. The trouble is, will foxes and dogs get them? You'd think it'd be unsafe because there's so many dogs around.
They normally. Oh, what's that? Sorry, it's a funny thing.
Oh, it's just to record. I do chats on YouTube, but
Okay.
it's just a mic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's not a video. It's too dark.
I mean, the last time I suddenly saw one, but it was already hit by a car, so they're probably somewhere around here building.
Well, I'll have a look out for them. I think we'll have to work out when they start breeding, because that might be when they're more obvious.
Yeah, I think what normally happens with them is that they are there, but obviously when the one that got hit by a car was probably when they split the nest and trying to go and carry on.
Yeah.
So it was trying to cross the road and started a nest. Yeah.
But you'd think they'd be scared off by dogs. It's a weird place to put them when there's so many dog walkers and dogs run in. It seems a bit bizarre.
I think they were there originally, but I think there's some different ones of them.
You see, the best stream or river is when you go up to Harewood. Is it Harewood House? Not Harewood House. When you're going past the Ilkley Otley way, There's a big river thing there, and that I'd have thought would be safer because.
That
Yeah.
probably got some, yeah.
But on here it seems a death trap. But anyway,
Yeah. There's definitely some over here. There's definitely some in there. Hello.
oh, push it down. Don't get mother.
But it's definitely there's probably nesting somewhere around here, and they probably they probably got a nest down the bottom there. But there's not many dogs who actually can get there, so I think they're quite safe. So, but I think it was a good. I mean, it started when they got hit, but it's normally what happens when the young ones trying to find a new nest, so they're trying to cross.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but
Oh, we'll have to keep an eye out.
keep an eye, but
Maybe that. Oh no, I don't think. I think that's just
no,
natural.
we're probably around there under the viaduct there.
Oh, we'll come back with a camera when they start bleeding. I'll see you later then. All right then. Hi. There we go. Oops. Oh, come this way then. There we go, folks. I think he's Polish. That guy's nice. We often see him in the woods. I think all the women fancy him. Anyway. Yeah, it's a nice bloke, that. Anyway, I don't know if you heard that chat about otters. Again, I don't know if the mic's working that well. Where was I up to? Oh, yeah. So, as I say, in this world, people expect you to say 100%, and they get. And the other thing is, they get upset over is if you criticise their leader. You'll notice it doesn't matter if they're left wing or right wing or whatever. No one's allowed to make any criticism because it's almost as if you criticise somebody, you're criticising what they believe in, which is two separate things. You can still criticise, and you're not actually having to go at what they're doing. I've said, I don't believe for a second this group's right wing, as people have claimed. Because I've listened to most of the vids, and from what I gather, most are left wing, and it seems to be two left wing communities who've clashed. And I think, personally, my view is, if I was on the trans side, I'd just accept that. That a lot, there have been quite a few men, and I think quite a few have done, have taken advantage, pretended to be female just so they could go into female toilets, which isn't the same as saying that all trans people are doing it to spy on women. I suspect the majority aren't, but I think it's healthier and easier if people just went, well, look, in the trans community, let's just bite our tongue and not insist on being in women's toilets and women's space and playing in women's sports, because it's creating too many problems, and the way the wind is blowing, it's probably going to go against them anyway. So isn't it better just to accept that, be angry with the men who've actually abused the situation, and just because a few years ago presumably the trans community were fine. We didn't have this problem. So I don't know why, well I do, I'm going to go into that later, why we've got this trans issue at the moment, or in my opinion why we have. But again, I'll try and I think I'll do this in sections because there's quite a lot to talk about. But, so this is the first one. It's just to clarify. There was no, oh, by the way, the other thing was, I had people saying, oh, it's not a protest, and these are semantics, it's irrelevant. I'm too thick to argue what the women stood there talking is. I think most people just view it as a protest, a small protest. Make life simple. I know people go, oh, no, it's not. But, and again, I'm not having a go at the women there. Hang on, let's just wait. I'm just waiting for another jogger to go past. Hi, cheers. There we go. So, in this part, I'll just explain what I was on about, because it wasn't. I mean, again, if you say, oh, you can't have a view, I wasn't having a go. Actually, all right, the point I was said in this, if you haven't heard, was, in my opinion, and I've always said it, protests or whatever, pointless, totally pointless, does nothing. It's just waste police time. Whatever you're protesting about, I've often said I can't see them doing anything. There's a protest every second. No one cares. No one's interested. Oh, more some cyclists. And my point was, and I, as I said, I actually have listened to Posey Parker's YouTube channel quite a lot. That's why I listen to. I haven't listened to any other media. Hang on, let's just wait. Hi. There we go. There we go. Jeez. And I think I've been listening, 2, maybe 3 years now. And what she used to do, and I thought was very effective, and she probably still does now, but I haven't really heard them as much. She seems to have cut back, is the where people phoned in. And I always thought that was more effective than standing in the streets. Because as you'll seen the video, I was only stood a few yards away. I couldn't hear anyone, what they were saying. It was only when we went to the police station I could hear them. And I don't know if they cut the speakers on purpose or the batteries of the speakers died. But I find there's 2 reasons I think doing it as a phone-in is better. I think more people listen. And yes, I'm fully aware people, they're doing this streaming live on YouTube and Twitter and whatnot. But again, the sound isn't as good as when people phone in, so it's easier for people to listen. And for me, it's, I've listened to quite a few, and I think people then have more time to speak and get the points across, and maybe even have a chat, because sometimes it's not, they don't just phone in to have make a speech. It's, to have a chat about the experiences and things. Hang on, some more people coming in. It's busy. I might turn back in a minute. It's busier than I was expecting. Hang on. Hi. We've got headphones on. So I've always thought when I've listened, I've always found the phone-ins more engaging, more informative, and that was my point. The second point of that also is, on some of them, I've seen people. I think it wasn't England. I remember seeing a young girl. She might have been even 16 or even younger at one of the talks, and my thought is, it's okay maybe for people who are retired to do this, but if you're 16 or a young child, she's got to go to school, which I'm imagining some of the teachers might be a bit left-wing and might give her grief, and other students might. I could imagine how much grief she's going to get because they've seen her face. Hang on 1 second. People walking past, running now, sorry. Hi. And to me, it put that girl at risk in my view, because she's going to have to go through the rest of her life, and people will target her, because you know what sickos people are. They have this doxing mentality because they're fascists, and so you can imagine how much if she goes to school with people who are in this want to be bullies to her and say, oh no, you're horrible and right wing, she's going to face that through school, through college, through university, and possibly through work. Not to mention, will people say, oh no, that's the girl who was there, we don't want her. In this climate of universities, I wonder if that would be applicable. That's why, in my opinion, doing it as a phone-in is better, because then, people can choose to give their names or not. And if you notice in a lot of the phone-ins, people did not want to give their names. And I think people are more comfortable communicating the issues. So that was my point. It wasn't I should silence, because I think that was the impression I think some said. It felt like I was saying oh, they shouldn't have the right to speak. Certainly not. More than, they should have the right to speak. I'm happy if they want to do it in public. I just don't see, I think to me it just doesn't really achieve much. I mean, to me it's just the more the drama, people are just watching to see if things kick off. If they, I think that to me is what they're sat there for, to watch rather than to listen. But I might be wrong. But again, I'm not when I talk about ish things, I'm usually talking about not just because I talk about saying I don't think, in my opinion, that it should be done in public, because I don't see it's achieving anything. I'm going to walk back this way. Isn't me having to go at the cause or taking sides or anything. It's just that's my observation. It's just I consider doing it that way pointless. I mean, I've said, in my opinion, if I've said it before. You can hear me. I'm quite open. I consider my criticism. If I was going to criticise Posey Park, I've said it. I don't see it being right wing in any way. Probably just middle ground, if anything. It's, I think it's a ridiculous thing to call her right wing. Certainly the rest of the group. Calling the rest of the group right wing is the most ridiculous thing going, because from my experience from listening to both the call-ins and being there at the protest, well, again, they don't call themselves protests, but to keep things simple, we'll call them a protest. And I'll probably have them moan, it's not a protest, semantics. Well, I'm going to keep things simple and call it a protest, because I think that's how people understand it. Someone's coming again. Hang on. Oh dear, one sec. Ooh.
Hello again.
Hi again. Sorry. Oh, shush up, Archie. Sorry, he's a jerk.
That's all right, don't worry.
Oh no, he's naughty. This is why he's on the lead. Oh, shush, Archie. He can't even play properly. I wish he could. You better calm down, Archie. It's silliness. Come on then. Yeah. If we're going back, see again. If I was going to criticise, which I've said it before, I've been open. The big debate I have with Posey Parker is she seems to have now made it all about herself. When people, on each of these live shows, she spends most of the time saying, me, I'm the one who's done everything, I want all the credit. Which I think is, it's cringeworthy. And I know I've had other people agree with me on that. And the second one is, I think, she's made herself the leader, but I actually think other women would be better. For instance, the lady at the Nottingham who spoke to the police on the phone and who actually spoke to the police there. I thought she was more eloquent in her speaking. I think she would be more effective, but that's not for me to say. Obviously, I'm not a member of this party of women. But I personally, if it's my opinion, I think Posey Parker's ideal as the second in command, because she's good at a lot of things. But I'd question. I think she seems to be wanting to make it about herself rather than what it's about. And again, one of the things I've noticed I'd argue in most of the recent vids is whenever she presents it, she's just saying, oh, everyone's taking credit from me constantly, and it's rather irritating. But again, that's your party, it's up to you. I'm not a member of it. It's just an observation from an outsider and again, I've said it, I think it's disgusting people calling the right wing, because I don't think there's any evidence of it, considering to me, this is no more than a fundamentally left-wing group that clashes with another fundamental left-wing group. And I think, as I've said, I think a lot of the people on the pro-trans side are fighting a cause that I think it's unnecessary. I think the trouble is everyone wants their own rights. We live in a world where my rights matter, sod everyone else. That's all I ever hear, and it's one of the criticisms I have of modern society. We used to go, it was a time we'd think of other people, but we don't do that now. There was a time people would think, I don't want to upset your feelings. See, if this had been a few years ago, I'm 100% sure that the trans community would put their hands up and say, yeah, there's men who actually have taken advantage of this, who claim to be women, who are clearly not. And I fully understand that the female population is 50%, give or take, of the UK. That's several million, and it's fairly obvious that the bulk are uncomfortable with this sort of trans ideology in toilets and in sports. And let's not, why make a problem? We can accept it's not ideal, but because we want to, live in a world where we get on with each other, we'll accept that. That'd be simple, but of course, nobody can give way to anything, so everyone has to go to war. Oh, by the way, one of the things that's important is, someone's coming, is when we talk about trans, I think people get confused that there's two versions of it. One, it means short for transgender, and it also is an umbrella term, and the umbrella term includes non-binary and men who wear fetish clothes and stuff. That's Stonewall, I think, the website informs of that. So often when people do talk about trans, I always say to people, which version are you meaning, transgender or the umbrella term? Because you do find people talk about both. Anyway, but again, hang on. Right, I'll get off now because I'll do another section in a minute because people are coming. One moment, I probably wound everyone up saying this.